Whether it's like a routine throughout the day you follow, or maybe it's your morning routine, like what sort of things do you implement in your daily life that leads to increased performance?
Sure. It's That's an easy question, but a tough question because people are so different. As I've gone year through year as a coach, I'm finding, especially with my ADHD clients, they're completely different. And I do believe partly ADHD can come from childhood, but of course, it's a diagnosis and there's science behind it. And that's really not my sector. So I won't speak too much on it. But um, like if you have ADHD or some type of hyperactive personality, like you don't do well on routines. You actually really dislike routines and it throws you and it just adds more pressure to your life and it can be a negative. I don't know if you've recognized that with any of your ADHD friends or if either of you are ADHD.
He's pointing at me. Now, I've never been diagnosed. I've never been diagnosed, but I would agree with it. But the weird thing is I have a morning routine and I love it. And when I don't do it, I feel like now the rest of my day and the rest of my life can be chaos and I kind of like that. But like I've found that in order for me to get what I want to get done, I have to have something that grounds me in the morning to like get through some shit and prioritize. And then the rest of the day is just probably going to be pure chaos. I'm going to be on a lot of different calls and meetings and, talking about different things all the time and whatever. And I do like that, but I don't know. And like I said, I've never been diagnosed with it, but I could see it.
I don't know. That doesn't sound as much like ADHD as it does addiction to chaos, but that's another conversation we can have on the side if you want to.
We're getting deep. You and I are going to go deep on me.
We're going to chat. But when it comes to, I think it is person to person. And I can tell you what I do. I'm a really structured person. I don't have ADHD. And structure works really, really well for me because predictability makes me feel really comfortable as well. So sometimes I do have to purposely mix it up because I will get into like this autopilot where like I'm not even really like feeling my prayers or my manifestations. So as of late, what I do in the mornings, every morning when I wake up, I head right to my floor and I sit down and the first thing I do is I pray and I get very thankful. My source is God, but whatever your source is, universe and whatever else. And I just get really intentional and I just pray and I'm grateful for the day. Like I really realize that there's a very big difference between like gratitude and saying what you're really appreciated for. But there's another really important piece that I think is important is what you already have. We get so mixed up in like wanting the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And again, that can really drive us, but it's a mindset of lack. And if lack is driving you versus abundance, there's a big difference. And so when you're always wanting more, more, more and forgetting about what you already have, I actually sit there and intentionally now, I used to be driven off of lack. So I am human. I definitely went through that. But now I sit there and I said, what do I have right now? And what am I so grateful to receive on a day-to-day that not everybody gets to receive? I get to sit in this home and this warmth and this safety and this shelter, and I have running water and all of these things. So I kind of go through my list and I really feel into that. And that taps me into that abundance and that gratitude and just grateful, like from my source that I'm here. And then from there, I go right into meditation and I try to keep my mind completely still because that has been the one thing that has kept me creative and kept me understanding where I'm meant to go. And now I trust more so like, my inner voice and the direction that life gives me versus like always wondering, am I doing things right? Am I doing it right or wrong? And so I just get super silent and I just let my mind be as quiet as possible. If we're being very real, like the mind can only stay so quiet. And for anybody who's looking for tips, like I don't know how to meditate, it's really hard. Just start with 90 seconds. See what you can do there. Don't force it more than there. Like we need to build up to it. It needs to start small. Start with 90 seconds. Then we'll start with 3 minutes. Then we'll go to 5. So some days I only do 90 seconds. Some days I do 10 minutes. And some days I do 30 minutes, which is awesome when I can do that. But it really depends on my life. So from there, I head on my little self-care routine, which is like big self-love practice for me. I really do like spend 3 hours in the mornings to myself. Like I don't even pick up my phone until about 9. So I get up around 6:30. So just kidding. I don't go into my self-care. I go to the gym first. Got to get morning movement. That's what makes my energy levels where they're at. I haven't drank caffeine in 7 years, and it's because I'm able to like work off my own energy levels through understanding my own body, and morning movement is something that I definitely need. Even if I don't get to the gym and just do a little like dance in my living room or something, it really helps. So I get my morning movement in, I go to the gym, and then I do my self-care routine. I do my face oil, I massage my face, and I just get really grateful for my body, my skin, everything. And then I head to work. And then in all honesty, I dive in fully and completely. Like I'm in it. And I am somebody who gets easily addicted to work. I am a workaholic, so I do need to manage that. But I manage it pretty well, especially like allowing myself to get very in flow and very, into it. So I work pretty much 9 to 5. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, but those are my hours. And then on top of that, I just started incorporating an evening routine, which I don't really do, but journaling in the evenings for me is really good because it slows me back down. It brings me back to like getting out of work mode, which some people, I've struggled in the past going from work mode to, okay, let's be present and be like a human again, because we don't have to think about work all the time anymore. Like when I did have to when I was a real estate agent. And so journaling brings me back and just kind of, I can flush everything out and that feels good. So that's a new one I've been doing, and it's really helping because I'm learning this new skill to like dip into work whenever I want to, dip out of work. I can dip in whenever I want. I'm still learning how to dip out.
Super interesting. Okay, there's a few things I want to pack there. Yeah. First takeaway for me is I need to figure out more ways to create natural energy because I do way too much caffeine. I think you do too.
Yeah, I do a lot.
And then second thing is like, I mean, I totally agree. I think some, morning routine, whatever routines throughout the day, it's crazy how much of a difference, like by implementing a morning routine, you head into your, okay, I'm gonna start work at 9 a.m., like the energy levels you have and just how much more productive you're gonna be throughout the day. Instead of just rolling out of bed, most people roll out of bed, turn the coffee machine on and like log into their first call, right? And it's like, you're not in the mindset to perform, right? Like it's, I know there's varying like opinions. People say, well, yeah, if you're spending 2 hours, but I think it's a balance of, building some sort of morning routine, whether it's a 15-minute morning routine or a 3-hour morning routine, right? Like whatever makes the most sense has been, I think my morning routine always shifts.
Well, you know what a morning routine does? It doesn't, I don't even think it matters all that much what you do. People get really particular about what they do. But a morning routine does, and like not picking up your phone until after you're done your morning routine, it makes you put you first. It sends your brain the message, I come before work. I come before even, all of the people that are needing my attention. Like I come first, and knowing that your business, your life, you as a friend, you as a partner, whatever you are, right? A son, a daughter, you are most important. Without you filling yourself up first, you just pouring from an empty cup. We hear it all the time. But that fills up, that's another confidence. That's another self-love. And it's like if the first thing you do is pick up your phone, what kind of message is that sending to your brain? Work's more important than my personal self-care. Work's more important than me.
Mm-hmm. I think about the plane, and hopefully I'm never in this situation, but if a plane's, going through some troubles in the air and you lose oxygen and those things come down and you gotta they tell you to put yours on first. You gotta do you first and take care of yourself first so that you can show up for someone else, a spouse, kids, whatever, right?
It's a good analogy.
It's a great analogy, and that's what I think about. I'm like, I got to do me so that I can be the best version of myself for everybody else around me.
And what if it all did go down in flames, right? Like one of my clients' biggest fears, most of them, is what if I lost it all? A lot of them have built up these businesses that are worth hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And what if I lost it all? Well, you still have you. right? You still have all the skills, you still have all the knowledge, you still have everything inside of you that you use to build that business and to become the version of yourself that you are. So you can do it again. So again, it takes you out of that lack mindset, knowing that you've got everything that you need.
I wanted to address one thing, and it's something that I don't spend enough time on, but you really did hammer it, and it's your first thing in the morning, and it's gratitude. How good does it feel when you spend deliberate time? I used to write down as part of my morning goals journaling routine. I journal in the mornings. You do it at night, and but either way, I think it's great. But I would write down too, today I'm grateful for something. It might just be my dog Jordy. I don't know, right? Like it might be whatever, right? But and I got to get back to doing that. I haven't been doing it for a while, but I just think about the times that you actually spend some deliberate focus around what are you grateful for? Because the thing is, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're in business and you're really like striving and you have big goals, right? We have big goals. I think about my goals all the time, but it's like, and you're kind of thinking about like what I don't have or what, oh man, he's there and I should be able to get there. But it's like, there's so many good things and things to be, even on our bad days, our worst days, and we've had some bad days, but it's like, there's still so much to be grateful for. And I think that just puts you in such a, you said it like opens you up to abundance, and I didn't make the connection there, but I do. It just makes me feel good. Look, it's not that bad. We got a lot of, like you said, running water. I mean, we're doing a lot better than a lot of people in the world, even when you have a bad day or something goes wrong.
Well, let me tell you something that I did when I took my little journey from lack to abundance. I used to put all of my money in a savings account, and I put the tiniest bit in my checking account and said, I only have this much money, which can be smart in ways, right? But I really pretended I had no money when I had like $75,000 in my bank account. I acted like I was absolutely broke. And so if you are constantly pretending that you have nothing just to make yourself strive for more and not really feeling that gratitude in the mornings, you're coming from lack. Like, why not be grateful and actually feel all of the things that you really have and build off of that? Like, okay, now I have $75,000 plus I can make more, which is so wonderful. And it's just a testament to how much I've done. But I think that we have to put ourselves in a place of lack to make us want more, to drive us. And so I think that's a reason why people don't really do the gratitude stuff, is because it'll make them complacent because they don't really know how to be in a state of like abundance. And it is a skill. Like, you have to learn how to be there, because like once you're there, like you get to be happy. And what if that happiness gets taken away? And so people fear that in their minds and their deep belief systems. And it's a reason why we get stuck in these patterns.